Wanda, good evening,
Good evening, Rene.
and thank you for coming here at Sun Connection. Um, Last week you came to see me for a reading. It was the first time that you actually consulted an astrologer and you had a reading. I am curious to know what was your experience before coming to see me?
Sure. Thank you for having me tonight. Rene, I have not had don't understand it, don't have any knowledge, have not had a reading before.
Yeah.
So, seeing you last week and having the experience in regards to, I was excited and, as I've mentioned, curious um, what it is and what you actually do. So my understanding is that you will explain tonight
Got you.
what you do
Well,
and how.
yes, I think it's the how, and I think if you're here tonight, it's because the reading was right. Things happen in a positive way, and thank you for accepting to answer this question and to give me the opportunity to talk a little bit more about what is it that we do. So
Please.
when I do someone's chart, first of all, I build a chart, and what we are doing is actually we take a picture of the sky at the minute you were born. And with this picture, we are actually placing the planets on the chart, and we have techniques. So the first one is going to be to divide the zodiac into 12 segments, and those segments represent different departments of your life. And after that, we look at where the planet are positioned into this chart, in which sign, in which element. And also, we are going to look at the space that is in between two planets. And depending on the space, we basically have different level of energies. Some energies are flowing, some energies are conflicting, some energies are supporting each other. And it's basically by combining all those information that the astrologer is able to understand your character, is able to understand what's going on, in your life. Where is your potential? Which are your wants? Which are your limitations? Which are the things that you suppress? And we look at all those things holistically. We try to make sense of all that.
Yeah.
And then we present that message to the client. But one thing that we are doing is also trying to have an understanding of what was your soul contract when you arrive to this world. Some people will say when you arrive to this world, some people will say the life that you have chosen to relive. And we look at this we have techniques to understand and to find out. It doesn't really matter to know who you were or what are the details, but it's more about what is the emotion that you have lived and you want to relive, to improve. It can be to improve, to correct, or it can also be to finish something that you have started. So I'm excited to know, how did it go?
So before we start, thank you for the information and so well explained, because that was in a nutshell how the reading was conducted. So what Rene, can you just tell, what do people need in order to have an astrology reading, information that they need to give you?
So the first thing that I need is their date of birth, their place of birth, and the time of birth. And I would like to say that when a person contacts me, is that somewhere, somehow, that person is ready to get a message on his or her journey into this life. I am like a stepping stone or link, and part of my job is very much to give you the piece of information for you to be able to complete your puzzle.
Well said. And for me, it was all about perfect timing. I don't see anything as a coincidence, meeting you and having then the astrology reading. There was something else. So can you tell, please, what are the benefits in regards to, so we spoke about timing. what are the benefits? I know you've said in regards to, was it blockages or yeah, just
Look, there's different way to look at it. I think the most simplistic comparison would be a roadmap. It's a roadmap.
right.
And if you have a roadmap, it actually helps you find your direction. That's very much it.
Yeah.
Now, the way you approach it is, you know, it's very personal. I apply concept that I've learned, but I also apply my intuition when it comes to a chart, and it takes me time to prepare it. I actually really want to deliver the right message for the person. I don't want to be misleading the person. So I need the person to be transparent. I need the person to, as I said, time of birth, place of birth, date of birth, but also the person to be transparent, to be open. Whatever we discuss will stay together. Chances are I will forget most of the things I've discussed. That's why I keep things in writing to send to you after the session. But if there is a problem in your life, I think it's okay to share it, to tell me, this is where I'm stuck, and I don't know what to do to get out of this system, or I don't know to find happiness, or I don't know where I'm at. And can you please tell me what's going on? And then I look at the stars as a way to facilitate, to give you some guidance. That's very much this.
Yeah. I can personally tell from my experience, I was surprised and what's the other word? I was, yeah, very, very, very surprised, yet it was a confirmation of where I'm at in life and why the things have happened. Yes, and moving forward. So I'm super excited that I've had the reading for you and you've given me tools, guidance, and still are.
That's fantastic. I think you tap onto something very important. It's very much about understanding why there are themes and recurrent patterns that present to your life.
Yes.
It's like, if what's going on? Why do I constantly loop on the same situation?
Yeah.
And it's simply because you come here to learn a lesson and to work on something. So very often what I found in astrology is, very often when someone has a problem, the more you procrastinate about this problem, the more you need to embrace it. Because somewhere, somehow, you have chosen to leave that problem. You have chosen to leave that restriction, this limitation. And the reason you need to leave it is because you need to heal and you need to grow from that. You need to become stronger from that. And that's what you've chosen. So the minute you start to look at your problem as something that is not random directly at you, but more at something that you have chosen to understand, to grow better, taller, all of a sudden you will find solution to fix that problem.
Yeah.
And you will move forward and the problem will not present again.
Exactly.
But there will be more problems that will present.
Don't tell that even.
Because, yes, I need to say, because this is the proof that we are alive.
Okay.
This is the proof we are alive. And that's why we're here. And that's why we have challenges, is to navigate them.
Sure.
So, thank
Thank
you.
you for your honesty.
My pleasure. And you know, it doesn't stop at the birth chart. We still can do a lot more work together.
Oh, wow.
Because we can do the transits, and we can do the transits. We can do the progression. Like, the first thing that we do is always the chart reading. It's
Right.
understanding what's going on with the chart and how it can impact you,
Yep.
providing this roadmap.
Yeah.
But then, as you evolved, you will find new challenges, and the more you understand about astrology, the more you will want to learn about it. So I suggest we keep connected, and there's more work to be done.
Fantastic. Thank you. And Rene, before we say goodbye, you were talking about, did you say the transit?
Yes.
So when would you suggest to someone and to have the transit? Is it like a reading again?
So it is a reading again. So
Okay.
basically, for me, a good time to do the transits is when there is a problem, because you basically, through the transit, you understand where's the blockages, and you start to see when things are gonna clear. It's a little bit like if there is a storm, and you want to know when the storm is going to ease,
Yep.
right? So if there is a storm in your life, you start to look at the chart and say when things are going to start to clear and what is the journey I'm going to go through. So it's a little bit of prediction, some extent. The way it works is that we take your birth chart. Your birth chart is the base.
Yep.
And then on this birth chart, we are going to put the planets out there today in the sky. Because this is a picture of the day you were born.
Born, yep.
But then things move every day,
Yep.
right?
Absolutely.
So things moved every day. And we are going to look at the planets where they are today, and we are going to put them on the chart, and we are going to see how they interact with the planets of your birth chart.
Gotcha.
So that's what allows us to make some level of predictions. And the good timing, most of my customers, it's around their birthday, because we call this the solar return. In essence, every year, after 365 days, this is when the planet Earth has gone around the sun and has made a full loop.
Yeah.
So at every birthday, you have your solar return. And I think it's a good timing to do the transits, because we do solar return plus transits. And the solar return is basically going to provide, at a high level, the climate of the year. It gives you a little bit of what's the temperature, what's going to happen this year.
Mm.
And then we look at the transits on what's the important messages and things I need to work on. And then you tap onto this energy.
Yeah.
If you are working on something and it's, if you try to swim against the current, it's hard.
Very,
But if you surf
flow.
and flow on that current,
Yeah.
then you use it as a tool. And I'm not saying that it's the only tool. Everybody needs to find their own tool.
Yeah.
But it's one tool. It's one tool that is very useful. And it provides a lot of insight and a lot of guidance. That's why I'm telling you, the journey is not finished.
No, I've gathered that from all the information that I've received from Rene. But it's fun at the same time.
Yeah.
I think that's the key to find as well, is while you're doing the work, whether it's healing, and you've spoken about wounds, is finding, as you've mentioned, the
Yeah.
flow. I
Yeah, it's
like
flowing.
that, and the energy. Yes.
And keep in mind that it's always empowering. There's nothing wrong. Even in the worst case situation, there's always something positive out of this. Can be
Nice.
argued, but overall, there's always good things to look at.
Yeah.
If you have a glass of water that is half empty, are you going to look at it as half empty or half full? And it's the same thing with astrology. There's always something positive about it.
Yeah.
And even in the most adversity, in the biggest challenge, there's always an opportunity to learn. There's always something to look at from a positive point of view. And it just provides this level of reinforcement that, things will be okay. In the end, you will be okay, but it's a matter of understanding where's the matter, where's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Great.
thank you so much.
Thank you, Rene.
My pleasure.
Good
Well done.
night.
Have a good night. Thank you.